Right, g'day guys. We're down here at Bromley Cricket Club. It's a fantastic facility here. Big shout out to Fred Wilson, who's the first team skipper, for letting us use the facilities. Obviously here with CA coach Callum Barton.
Oh.
Good to see you, mate. It's been a while.
Yeah, I know. How's it been?
How have you been?
Yeah, good. Just a lot of cricket. So it's since it stopped raining, we've got a fair bit of cricket in. So it's been good to get on the paddock and enjoy some good cricket, good hard cricket.
Yeah, no, the rain's something that I've obviously spoke about. The rain's been something that's really put me off, I think, in the last few weeks in terms of how prepared you could get for games. Like, we couldn't train. Wickets were pretty underprepared, so it made for sort of an introduction for me. Like, obviously you were here last season, but an introduction for me quite tough into the game. But how have you sort of found your few weeks of cricket?
Yeah, so I think it was similar to me in the change from conditions to the UK conditions, in the same sense where you didn't have any preparation at all. So my first net session, my first real bat or bowl was in the first game.
Yeah.
So I went straight into that, and I got found out pretty quickly, just with the moving ball and whatnot. I didn't get many runs first game. Bowled okay, got 3 wickets in the first game, and then found some success in our second game, which was last weekend, and hopefully I can continue that.
Yeah. Tell us about last week then. How'd you go?
Trying to be a bit modest here.
No, you can't be modest here, mate. No.
So we bowled first, and I got 5 for 35.
Hold on. How were you? What were your wickets?
I had 2 LBWs, 2 bowls, and 1 caught at short cover.
Very good.
So, and then got that team all out for under 200 on a pretty good batting wicket, and went out and batting at 3, scored 68. So saw him a lot better than what I did the first week. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
Felt a lot more comfortable at the crease, and like you said, being here last year, it just was sort of much easier to get back into the swing of things rather than learning it for the first time. So it's be good to get back on our home turf this weekend, actually. So hopefully the weather holds off, and it's been some good weather this week up in London. So hopefully it's a bit more of the same this weekend.
Nice. So tell us whereabouts sort of in England are you located? So obviously where I am and where we are right now is not too far out of the London CBD, but obviously you're a little bit further away.
Yeah, so I'm down towards Southampton. So for ideas, it's more southwest of London, like the area of London. It's about an hour and a half from London itself, and it's a really nice area down on the south coast of England. So it's a beautiful little spot.
Nice. If you could describe England with one colour, what would it be?
One colour.
One colour.
Grey.
Grey. Oh, actually, that's not a bad shout.
Yeah. Well, I just look at the sky today. There's patches of blue, but mostly cloud cover today.
Looking at around you now, what's a colour that stands out a fair bit?
No, green.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Green. Yeah, very green place.
It's extremely green.
So, Bart, what are your goals for the season?
Goals. Well, improve on my last season's statistics. 30 wickets is probably quite realistic for me, especially with the Duke ball. And at the moment I'm sitting on 8 wickets in 2 games, so
yeah,
hopefully I think that's a base goal for me. And then runs wise, 500-600 around that area.
Yeah.
It's probably like a baseline goal. Like last year I had not the best season, and I still managed to scrape my way to 400 runs. I'd like to score a couple hundreds this year, which hopefully through the summer, as the wickets get a bit more batter friendly, sun bakes them a bit. And
bowler's game over here.
Yeah,
Bowler's game.
100%. So far it has been too.
So I think it's good to have a statistics-based goal. How are you going to achieve that though? Because it's easy for everyone to say, I want this. Yeah. How are you going to get it? What are your goals that are going to help you get to that overall achievement?
I think a lot of this season, it's very easy to get caught up in things like being an Australian in the UK. You can get really like caught up in things.
Stick out like a sore thumb over here, don't we?
Yeah. So I think trying to focus when I need to and really switch on and have that discipline to be able to just like on game day or at training just switch on.
Yeah.
And that's what I sort of struggled with last year.
Got a little bit caught up in it.
Yeah. I really I had family come and visit, and I had lots of trips over to Europe with being so accessible here, and I think I didn't find that sort of
the balance.
Yeah,
you didn't find the balance, but between your preparation for your games and also probably switching on, switching off, that sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So I think that's one thing this year is finding that balance, and like that. I think that's so far I've got that right, and hopefully I can continue that.
I think that's just a tricky thing to get right in general. Doesn't matter where you are in the world, is getting that balance of obviously social life, life with your family, and then obviously being quite committed to cricket, getting your preparation done, and then playing. So finding that balance between all those things can be quite tricky. And then obviously, especially us being over here in a place that we don't know a lot of, it can be a little bit harder. So I agree. Is very much for myself is trying to get that balance between making sure that going into the weekend I am prepared. It's, as you've probably experienced, it's very easy to go through the week having not really prepared. Like obviously you've got your midweek games, but because training's not a massively sort of built up thing over here in terms of obviously at home where we've got a couple of days a week, and it's a real big setup, where over here it's a lot more casual. So it's finding that balance between getting your preparation done during the week so that you're ready to go, and then at the same time making the most of our opportunities while we're here, and going out, catching up with your mates, going out, seeing things in across London and Europe. So no, I agree,
definitely. And I think the other thing too is being an overseas player over here, you can very easily put the pressure on yourself to be like, and it can stem from the players at your club and stuff, with them being all excited about having an overseas player, and then there's that pressure on you to perform and all this. But I think it's trying to sort of step back from that and take that pressure off yourself, where you don't actually need to put that on yourself. And that's a thing that took me quite a while to learn last year, and then this year it's just
I think that probably comes down to the team that you're in as well. Like I know very much for a fact that the team that I'm in, great bunch of lads, and they're obviously, I hope they're excited to have me there. They seem excited, but they know that obviously I've played at a good standard, but they're not all around relying on me to be a one-man team, basically. Like, they're still very aware that it's a team game, and they're all very good enough players to all be putting big performances on the board. So I think the big thing with an overseas player is, yes, it boosts your team and you can learn things from them and set a standard and whatnot, but I think the best teams don't rely solely on their overseas, because that's the case. It's going to come off once or twice a year, and the rest
got 11 teams.
The rest of the time they're going to struggle, aren't they? So I think the best teams obviously appreciate, they try and learn from you, but it's not. They definitely don't rely on you to be their, sole run scorer, sole wicket taker, that sort of thing. Like, they realise that it is a team sport. So I know where I am. They're very much aware of that, and I haven't felt any external pressure from them. They're like, oh, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, or we're no good. Like, there's been none of that. So which has definitely helped me. I don't know what it's like at your club.
We're in a bit of a transition period, I think, where we've got quite a few young players, and then we've got quite a few guys sort of in the back end of their first team sort of career, coming to the twilight, as they say, but are still quite capable of putting on good performances. So I think if we can string a few together, and that's what I'm this season, I'm trying to help a lot more than what I did last season, where, like I said before, I got caught up in it all, whereas this season I'm much more in tune to trying to provide as much help as I can to the young players in our team, and helping our team.
Yeah, and I think that's really important. Like it takes a lot for a team to obviously bring in an overseas to their club, and obviously there's a lot of risk involved in them. So I think one thing that we can do as overseas players is, regardless of your own personal performance, is you give back as much as you can. You help out where you can. You try your best to pass on what you've learnt. Get stuck in around the club, volunteer your time, and hopefully, give as much back, because obviously they've shown faith in us, bringing us over here. So I think it's important that we do try and give back and give what we can back to the clubs.
Yeah.
So is there anything that you've struggled with since you've been here, either your first time or your second time, whether that be physical struggle, mental struggle? Is there anything that's been really tough on you?
No, see, I think more like we've been talking about last season was obviously all my learning, all my figuring it out for the first time.
Yeah.
So it was, a lot of what I struggled with. Like I think this year I'll struggle a lot less, whereas last year, my first season, learning everything for the first time, new conditions, everything, being so young, and that's what I struggled with, was one, being away from home. That's a huge one. I think this time around I've learnt to sort of deal with it a bit better.
Yeah.
And with the technology and stuff, FaceTime with family at home.
It's pretty easy to stay
really
connected,
easy.
isn't it? Yeah.
So, and it's, like getting the, again, balance between being like talking to family back home, but then you've got your own things to do over here.
Yeah.
Like you can't be like almost relying on them for your like day-to-day sort of source thing.
Yeah.
So like having your time away from family, I guess, as well. And last year, I think as well, I had my dad come over and visited me. So whereas this year I'm not going to have any family over, so I could really
jump into it.
Yeah,
completely.
100%.
So it sounds like you obviously made lots of mistakes last year, but you've obviously learnt, and you're learning from them, so you're not going to make the same mistakes again, which will obviously put you in a better frame going into your season this year.
Definitely. I'm feeling really good. Really happy to be here, and like absolutely loving my time over so far. And it's the success on and off the field that I'm having with relationships.
Success off the field. Yeah,
Relationships,
bit of success off the field. Yeah. There you go. You heard it here first. Successful off the field. We'll cut that one out.
No, that's good. Yeah, good.
So making sure that you're having the success on the field and getting your balance right with the rest of your life.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Very important. Oh well, it's been good to catch up with you, Bart.
That's been.
It's obviously a little bit harder with you being a little bit further away, but only a couple of hours on the train and you're here. But no, I wish you all the best for the rest of your season, and keep learning, keep putting big performances on the board. Where can the followers follow along your journey? Have you got Instagram?
With my cricket club, we're called Polton's Cricket Club. So
do you know that Instagram handle?
No.
That's all right. Well, I'll attach it in the video.
We'll attach it.
What about your personal Instagram handle?
It's Callum _Barton _2.
There you go.
On Instagram.
And follow along his journey there.
Yep.
Perfect.
So thanks, mate.
No worries.
Been a pleasure.
Good to see you, mate.
Yeah, you too.